For the past 4 days, I have actually been detailing this brand new Rviain R1S next to me here. And everything is absolutely dialed in and perfect except for one single area, and that is the tires. So today, this is going to be a dedicated video talking everything tires, not only how to clean them properly, how to protect them, and what products I really recommend using. There are so many tire shines out there, and I have gone through every single one that I can get my hands on, and the one that I've been using for the past 7 to 8 years is really my favorite. So welcome back to another out of spec detailing video here from Clear Detailing in Northern Colorado. Let's jump into it. Now I think the Rviain is one of the best examples to showcase how I clean and use tire shine, because we have a little bit of a knobby sidewall here on the optional 20-inch off-road wheels and tire package. Now, typically a lot of people don't understand that you really want to clean this rubber, even though it may be brand new. You may have been maintaining your car for a while, putting tire shine on there, making it look quite good. One thing that people do not understand is something like this, that is a brand new tire, has a lot of mold release agents on it. So when they actually manufacture these tires, you'll see either a blue or brown hue to the actual face of the tire, and that is indicative of mold release. These may look clean, but I'm going to show you how I go through and actually clean them. Secondly, a lot of people who may be maintaining their vehicle, putting on multiple layers of tire shine, really need to understand that every single time you apply tire shine, you need to clean the old tire shine off. The reason being, you get this buildup, it starts attracting dirt, it really makes a mess of tires if you don't clean them often and just keep applying that tire shine on layers and layers and layers. So I'm going to run you through all of the products I use to get these looking absolutely perfect. Like I said, this is a very cool demonstration here on the Rviain, because I get a lot of questions on how you actually dress tires with a bunch of knobs in them. Now, these are not the most aggressive tires out there, but this solution will work for you no matter what. So all the products I'm going to be showcasing today will be in the link in the description below, so you can pick them up, use them on your own car, and follow this entire process that I use. So let's jump into the products, and then we'll jump into the process showcasing how to make tires absolutely perfect. Now, looking at the tires here, like I said, they look okay, right? They nearly look like they're actually dressed, but they're really quite dull. And actually, when my brother-in-law took delivery of this R1S, there was already tire shine on this from the Rviain Service Center down in Denver. But as you can see here, this blue hue I'm talking about, this is all of that mold release. This also in here is different dirt and grime that's been built up on here. And I can actually feel on this tire, it's a little bit grimy, if you will. Now I've already went in, ceramic coated these wheels. They look absolutely phenomenal. I spent some time scrubbing these tires while they were wet using a tire cleaner, stiff bristled brush trying to clean these. But as you can see, they don't come out perfect. And then we come over here to this. So this is actually the product I really recommend using for tire cleaner. This, like it says on the side, is going to prep it for all different types of tire dressings. It's also going to remove old tire dressings. Very, very important. This is essentially a dedicated all-purpose cleaner specifically for tires. Now, a lot of the times you can use something like either Simple Green or a different all-purpose cleaner, but I really, really like this stuff. Goes in there, really brings out all of that mold release, gets all of the old crap and crud off of there. It makes the tire look perfectly satin, and then once it's dry, we can go in and apply our tire dressing. But the tools for actually cleaning it are pretty simple. You need your tire cleaner, a microfiber that you're willing to throw away because this is really nasty, and of course, a glove. Now coming down here, let's talk a little bit about tire shine. Like I said, I have used probably dozens of them, tested them out, had some love and hate with them. So a lot of the tire dressings people use are basically gels. They're very, very thick and they're very, very hard to dilute. What you can actually see down here is I have 3 different tire shines, all diluted slightly differently. Now, in my personal opinion, and I think the opinion of most, Tires should not be super shiny. Why? Well, they can attract more dirt to them. They can also sling. So we've got a perfectly detailed Rviain here. If I were to just slap some tire shine on here, first time my customer drives us outside, you're gonna see tire shine just go all the way down the side. Not what we want to do. So this is the product that I have come to know and love. And this is CarPro Pearl. This is a water-based solution, a silicon oxide coating on there. Really, really nice. Actually penetrates the rubber, holds in there, and you'll see once I'm done with this, once I apply it on here, let it dry, you wipe your hand over it, nothing comes off. Really, really important thing there. Now, what I like to do here is have 1-to-1. This is gonna be the shiniest that I will go on Pearl. This, in my opinion, is slightly too shiny. I do have customers ask me, hey, can you put a little bit shinier tire shine on there? This is what I'm gonna go to. Now, if you want a little bit in between of something like very, very satin, this is my preferred one here, 1-to-5. It is absolutely phenomenal. Looks like the tire is just completely clean. Barely looks like it's even dressed, but you just get this really nice, rich satin sheen to it. And that's exactly what we want here. And then of course, 1-to-3, that is somewhere in the middle. So what I like doing is having a big bottle here. This is completely straight. This is CarPro Pearl, and then dilute it into the separate bottles. Now what you can do is basically buy one bottle and get an empty one from CarPro. Again, all of this stuff will be in the link in the descriptions below. This is my preferred one, the one we're gonna be using today. Now, a few things we need to actually apply the dressing is, of course, an applicator. And this is what I really like to use. This is actually from Adams Polishes. Just a nice simple foam block here. You can cut these up into different sizes and shapes. And then this. This is actually a very, very effective tool at getting these areas. So you can basically apply some dressing in here and scrub it into all these tire blocks while you're gonna use the foam applicator down here in regular areas. And then lastly, we want a second throwaway microfiber towel, because once this sits on here, kind of cures up, dries, we're gonna do a final wipe down. So let's get into actually cleaning the tire. I think you'll be shocked to see how much dirt and grime actually comes off this. We'll let that dry, and then of course, apply our tire dressing. Now, as I mentioned before, these wheels are already ceramic coated, so I don't wanna grab my tire cleaner and just start dousing this, getting it all over the freshly cleaned or coated wheels. I would imagine most of you, and this is how you should do it, once you've washed your vehicle, maybe you're gonna take it to a Cars and Coffee, your wheels are probably clean, so you don't wanna be coming in here just spraying everything. What I like to do instead is come in here and just douse your towel a little bit. This is a fresh, clean towel, again, one that I'm actually gonna throw away. If you need to in your tire blocks here, you can gently spray some solution and attempt to not get it everywhere else. All you're gonna do with this is really just work in the cleaner. And look at that already. It's already disgusting. Again, this tire felt and looked quite clean, but it's surprising how much of that mold release agent is actually in there. It's really quite gross, to be honest. Look at that damage we've already done. This was a fresh towel. It's so freaking filthy. It's truly unbelievable. So I'm gonna flip this over here and I'm gonna spray some just here on the corner a little bit for the rationale of getting into this little lip here, because this area definitely always has quite a bit of dirt and grime in it. Again, I'm gonna do my absolute best to keep it off the wheel here. Come in here and scrub this down. Now, if you do get a little on the wheel like I have here, no harm, no foul. It's not the end of the world, of course. Look at all of that dirt and grime that was in there. You can take a clean corner here and just wipe off the excess. Now, looking at this tire, yeah, it looks pretty clean. I can already feel how much different the actual rubber feels on here. It's got a little bit of grab to it, but there's nothing coming off here, which is exactly what we want. I'm just going to quickly apply a little bit more solution here, give it one more wipe down just to make sure we've got 99% of that grime off of here. You don't need to go crazy with this, but again, look how much stuff we are getting out of here. Really, really wild. Now, this is something I've been seeing on Rviains a lot. They use this basically oiled base pin. I cannot get this stuff off. I have tried and tried many different chemicals. I've even used stuff like Tarex to get this off and have really had no luck. But this tire is looking quite good. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna let this sit and dry. Of course, you're gonna be doing all 4 wheels and tires, but I'm just gonna focus on this one for this video. So I'm gonna let this dry up and then we'll talk about the actual application of what I like to do for tire shine. So while I was letting this actual tire dry, I went around and just cleaned up all 4 tires around the car. This is our towel. Can you guys freaking believe that? This was a brand new towel. Look how disgusting this is. So I want to emphasize this point. Most people are just gonna comment, just slap some tire shine on there. If you are putting tire shine over this, it's gonna be splotchy, it's not gonna stick as well. You're gonna get a really, really nasty buildup. It can attract dirt. Now, CarPro Pearl really isn't one of those tire dressings that actually attracts dirt. It really repels it. But over time, if you're using, maybe you decide to use something different than CarPro Pearl, you're just gonna get a massive buildup, especially in areas like these. All of this lug trim in here or all of these big tire blocks, it's really gonna start to look nasty. So keep that in mind. Now that these are all dry, let's get into the actual application of the dressing. So, of course, you want to make sure that this tire is completely dry. There's no residue left over. It feels nice and clean. So I'm going to put in a few clips here of how much tire dressing you actually want to apply because I have to do it off camera here. You don't need a ton here. But what you want to do is start working this in. And you'll notice I may have gotten a little bit too much here. I'll be sure to wipe this up later on. And you just want to start working this in. So we're going to avoid these big tire blocks up here with our initial foam applicator here, and I'm going to take just a corner of this edge and just get it right in between that tire. Now you may be saying, oh my gosh, this looks like it is very, very thick. This is actually a very thin product. It goes on really wet. It looks terrible right away, but what you'll find once this dries up, it's going to be perfectly satin. It's going to look truly incredible. Just spend some time working it in. All these little grooves in here, you can come in, go up and down on them. You could take this foam applicator and just go in here, but let me show you a more effective treatment for this. As I get my tire brush over here, and I'm just going to start working this product in. You can see how little effort that actually was there. You can kind of come up and down here, making sure you don't miss any of these areas. Again, I want you guys to realize this will dull out. It is not going to stay this shiny. This is not how your tires should look. This looks absolutely terrible. So let me finish off the bottom of the wheel and tire here. I'll get this wiped off. It's actually already basically taken itself off with the ceramic coating there, but I'll get this finished. We'll watch this dry up, and then I'll show you finally the last process you're going to want to do on the actual tire, give you a few more little tips and tricks. Off camera, I just went around the vehicle and of course did the other 3 tires, just like you guys would do at home. We're gonna let this dry for a little bit. I want you to notice how much better this looks. Not as shiny, it's really gotten into the actual rubber of the tire. Now I want you to notice something here. See how it's a little bit splotchy and streaky in these areas? This is completely normal. It's gonna get soaked into the tire. So you wanna let this dry 5 to 10 minutes. Should maybe take you 5 minutes to go around the vehicle, get the rest of the tires. Now, if you're working on something with a lower profile sidewall, you're of course not gonna need to use that big bristled brush, but it's very, very effective on something like this Rviain. So to get rid of these splotches, of course, you're gonna wanna wait to let it dry. But a very, very important step is grabbing your other towel here. And once this is fully dried, you're gonna come in and wipe down all of the high spots, if you will. Think about it as if you were ceramic coating this. You need to kind of even it out. This is the most important step to tire shine that I see a lot of people miss. This also prevents sling. If you get some things in here that, or some product in here that's a little bit thicker than the rest of it, it's really, really, really going to help knock down everything, prevent slinging, and most importantly, get a perfectly satin sheen on here that is actually even. Now, the last tip and trick I'm gonna give for you is don't be lazy. You may be asking, what do you mean by that? Well, you're gonna now jump in the driver's seat. You're gonna move it either forwards or backwards about 2 feet. Now on the Rviains, it's not so apparent, but this lower area down here that is actually contacting the ground, you've definitely missed. It is so hilarious to me when you're driving around and you see, wow, this car looks amazing, looks so clean. You pull up next to it and you go, what the heck is wrong with their tires? They've got this dry spot on an area of the tire because they were too lazy to jump in the car, move it back and forward 2 feet. So very, very important to do that. I'm gonna jump in the Rviain now, move it back 2 feet and get that last remaining spot. We'll of course let that dry and then we'll come back down and knock everything out. Let me show you this example here. So I moved the car back a couple of feet. Look at all this area we've missed. It doesn't look right. So we're just gonna, again, come back in with either our bristled brush here, knock this area out, or our tire applicator if you don't have something like the all-terrain tires. But don't be lazy. If you're gonna do this, do it the right way. Don't skip steps. So we're gonna let this, of course, dry off now, and then finally get into the knockdown. So finally, this is all dry, ready to be knocked down and look absolutely perfect. Again, this is a very, very, very important step. You do not want to skip this step. Now, I grabbed a clean microfiber towel. I did the passenger side tire. You guys saw me cleaning, screwed up the recording. So we're here on the driver's side if you're just curious. But all you're gonna do with this, come in here and wipe away all of the excess. What's really, really nice about this stuff is it is completely slick and dry. There is zero residue on here. If you're wiping your hand over most tire shines, you're gonna have a hand filled of black, disgusting gel and grime and just disgustingness, to be honest. It just really, really doesn't look good. It holds a bunch of dirt. This just looks absolutely perfect. So I'm just gonna clean up the whole tire, try and get all of these areas. You can come up in here, kind of scrub it. Here you go. And you'll see you're definitely gonna pick up just a little bit more dirt as you get into the actual tire tread up here. But this just looks so much better. And it's perfectly dressed, perfectly clean. We're not gonna be attracting a bunch of dirt on here. This is the way your tires should look. So again, CarPro Pearl 1 to 5, really the way to go. All of the products that I use today will be in the link in the description below. Hope you guys enjoyed this. And remember, don't be lazy. Get the entire area of the tire. Hope you guys enjoyed this shorter style video, specifically dedicated on tires. Let me know in the link in the description below what you would like to see in other videos. Thanks so much for joining us on another out of spec detailing video. We'll see you in the next one soon. Bye-bye.